Hey guys, welcome. It's Jessica, and I'm here today to talk to you about these new stencil brushes that I got. I have been dying to get my hands on the Clarity Stencil Brushes, but I have not been able to do so yet. So I made a trip to Michael's and I decided to try out this set. The brand is actually Martha Stewart, so I wasn't really sure what to expect as I don't really have a lot of products from her line. This particular set came with 6 different stencil brushes. So depending on the size of your stencil, you can switch out the brush size to fit your needs. So here I am just placing some washi tape on the edges of my stencil to make sure that it doesn't move around while I'm using my stencil brushes. And I have 2 colors of distress inks that I'm going to use today. They are Cracked Pistachio and Broken China. I really like this color combination. I've been kind of loving on it lately, so I'm excited about this color. Here I am just testing out the stencil brush on my ink pad. I really wanted to see how much ink was going to stay in the brush and how much was going to transfer to my paper right away. Similar to how when you use a foam pad with your distress inks, if you put the foam pad directly on your project initially, you may get a heavier transfer or even the shape of the foam pad. I was just trying to see if it was the same with these stencil brushes. Because this ink pad seems to be a little bit dry, I didn't have that problem, though you might if you have a particularly juicy ink pad. This one I've been having a little bit of trouble with, so I think I may need to buy a re-inker or something like that, because I do have a little bit of trouble getting the ink off of this, even with my foam blending tools. So here I'm just swiping back and forth on my ink pad and then doing the same thing on my stencil. So I'm doing up and down sort of swiping motion or flicking back and forth with the stencil brush across the paper and the stencil. And I'm finally starting to see some results with that Cracked Pistachio. So be sure that when you're using your stencil brush, you do continue to go the same direction, either up and down or side to side, just so that you get even transfer of your ink throughout the stencil. Once you've completed going up and down and you've gotten the color, you can go then side to side, but I wouldn't do them interchangeably throughout the whole thing, because you don't want to get kind of like a cross hatch pattern where the ink is heavier in some areas and not in others. So that's definitely helped me. As far as the brushes go, they are a little coarse and stiff, and I have never actually used a stencil brush before this, so I'm not sure if that's normal or if this particular set is just a little bit more rigid. It seemed to work okay though. The bristles do tend to kind of splay out a little bit once you start using them, but it hasn't affected my ability to use them yet. I guess I'll see long term how they do and if that does impact it in the future. But for now, they seem to be working pretty well. So there I started using my Broken China distress ink, and my color went on much easier that time. So I think, like I said earlier, I was just having some issues with the juiciness of my ink pad, but the color is going on great, and I just went ahead and did a little bit heavier color on the outside, lighter towards the center, and then I overlapped them to blend the colors together a little bit. And then I went back with that Cracked Pistachio and applied a little bit more to the edges and overlapped in the middle again. So I'm not going to make a whole card out of it today. I just wanted to test these brushes and kind of see how they worked and what they were all about. And there is my finished stencil. I just thought that was so pretty. Really, really love that color combination. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have a favorite stencil brush, please be sure to tell me all about it in the comments below. And I will also link to all the products I use in the description. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more like this in the future.